Good afternoon and welcome to Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. Taylor Waste Services Day at the racetrack on a beautiful, warm June afternoon. So excited you're here. We just had the Champ Carts presented by Hunn's Recycle Factory. They just took to the racetrack for qualification to set the starting lineup for their feature event. And Adam, it is a little toasty down there. Hope everybody's staying hydrated.
That's right, my friend. It is a little on the warm side today. Temperatures in the mid-90s here in the pit lane. It's a little sunny and very sunny and not a lot of clouds in the sky, so not a lot of cloud cover overhead. So we are finding shade down here. The tents are set up, the canopies for the late models, the Who's Your Driver late models. They're going to be up for Twin 50s tonight on Taylor Waste Services late model, or Taylor Waste Services race night. It's Bojangles boat time qualifying here. We'll get it right one of these times. It's Farley Financial Yukon on track. We know that for a fact, and they're going to put on a show as they do. As they continue to qualify, we'll watch and see who is quickest.
That's right, and as we take a look right now, again, we talked about earlier the division, that hit the racetrack was the HRKC Pro Wing Champ Carts that took to the Speedway, as they have just completed in a quick lap, actually turned today by Trace Wyatt, 22.853 seconds. Jordan Valdez, P2 at a 22.914 in the 18 cart. And that's going to be the front row for their 20-lap feature coming up a little bit later on this evening. At 7 o'clock will be our start time here at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. And right now we have moved to the next division, and this one happens to be the Farley Financial U cars that you just heard mentioned. We've had now 2 cars take to the Speedway to try to lock in a good lap. They'll get 2 laps on the track. On the stopwatch, we'll take the best of the 2 laps, and that will be the lap of record. Of course, you want to go as fast as you possibly can, get the best possible time so you get a good starting position. The Farley Financial U cars will have a 25-lap event coming up race 3. Track temperature before the drivers' meeting, 142 degrees, so it is quite steamy. Of course, they're warm outside, but even the track temperature is quite warm. We're well into the 90s here today, Fahrenheit, as far as the air temperature at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway in Hampton. Hello to everybody tuning in to Facebook Live. Hope you can get in the car, head to Hampton, come see us. Tickets on sale at langley-speedway.com. You can get them at the box office when you come onto the property. If you cannot physically get here, maybe you're too far away, tune in to Flow Racing, live coverage, 7 o'clock Eastern time this evening. Thomas Fontaine goes to the top. Car number 64 locks in a good lap, 19.138 seconds, more than 0.6 of a second faster to go to the top of the board. Good lap for car number 64. Looking at the point standings coming into this race, Christian Keller is atop of the first 5 races this year with 4 victories. Quite impressive. He leads 10 points over Mikey Chim. We just watched Thomas Fontaine to the provisional pole. He is currently P3, 24 markers back. Brent Burgess is 4th, and Kyle Davis rounds out the top 5. Just 2 different winners in the Farley Financial U cars to open up the season. We mentioned Christian Keller with the most at 4. The other winner this year, that is Jesse Jones. In just 1 start, he picked up the victory. His car performed extremely well in the last race back on June 15th, or 1 week ago. That's when we had Richard Quinn. He hadn't been in a car in a couple of years. He finished P2 after locking in a good qualifying lap. Lacey Hogg, car number 83 on the Speedway, 23.002 seconds, 4th fastest out of the 4 cars. So it's Thomas Fontaine, Kyle Davis, 2nd quickest, Jeremy Jones 3rd, and Lacey Hogg currently in P4. Brandon Pearl is on the racetrack right now in car number 91. Brandon Pearl becomes our 5th qualifier from Virginia Beach, sponsored by Hooters, Chico's, Cinema Cafe, Shenandoah Shine, Virginia Trophy, and the Virginia Beach Sportsplex on the cars, or on the car, I should say, for Brandon Pearl, who just celebrated a birthday just a few weeks ago. Brandon Pearl in the Rookie of the Year race, as is almost everybody that's taken to the racetrack other than Kyle Davis in their first full-time season for the Farley Financial U cars. Brandon Pearl, lap 1, 20.478. Lap 2, even quicker by 0.3 of a second, 20.120, 4th of the 5 cars. So Brandon Pearl has wrapped up his qualification. Next up, we're going to take a look at the 03 race car. This is going to be Nicholas Deans from right here in Hampton. Nicholas Deans works through turns 3 and 4 to get the white flag, his first of 2 flyer laps in the books. Can he go to the top? He'll go provisionally on the front row, second position, 19.541 seconds. He needs a little more than 4/10 of a second if he wants to knock Thomas Fontaine out of the top spot. This car, sponsored by Blacksmith Auto Repair, Easy Auto. Logos on this race car for Nicholas Deans, who will go faster on lap 2. He cuts that deficit down, but he'll stay slotted in the second spot. 19.216 seconds for car number 03, Nicholas Deans. This will be Nicholas's second start of the season. He finished 4th last weekend, so he's come out of the box pretty strong. All right, Adam, you know this driver pretty well. Crystal West on the racetrack. She had some mechanical issues in practice. She's hoping they can get this sorted to go racing here tonight.
Yeah, Crystal just put a new engine in that race car a couple of weeks ago. She was telling us about it. Last week was her first race night with it. It went okay. Said they had a little bit of teething issues with it. And, of course, you mentioned practice earlier today. Right now, she is 3rd quickest on the board at a 19.600. Deans on his second lap within a 10th of a second of the Fontaine lap. So very tight at the front of the field. Crystal's got some work to do here on her second lap, and she does pick it up quite a bit, 19.278. Driver 99 slots P3.
So Crystal West, her best finish is a 5th to open up the 2024 campaign, looking to get her first podium effort. It could come tonight. Right now, as you just heard, she is currently 3rd quick on the leaderboard, provisionally inside of row 2. Still several qualifiers to go. Their race coming up, race 3 on this Taylor Waste Services evening at the racetrack, and they'll have a 25-lap race when it's all said and done. Brent Burgess is on the racetrack, car number 18, hitting the speedway. We mentioned earlier, 4th in the championship standings. His best finish is a 3rd back in early May for car number 18. Let's see what he has in store as he tries to pick it up. 4th fastest thus far for the Carrollton, Virginia driver, sponsored by Bay Custom Collision Center. And Brent Burgess goes even faster on lap 2, 19.351, but it'll be 4th quick overall. All right, the driver that we're going to be looking at here throughout this evening, as we have all season long, as we have for the last couple of years. And he's just been so stout, so strong. And there he is, coming through turns 3 and 4, a 2-time champion, 2021, 2022 in this Farley Financial U Cars. Was going to move to a different division, did try a few races, but he realized how successful they have been in this car. Christian Kellers, who we're talking about, from Suffolk in car number 6, 5th quick early on in lap number 1. He still has this lap to try to pick it up. Again, 4 wins out of the first 5 races. Can Christian Keller go to the top? He'll go so close at him, but not quite.
And he's actually exactly tied with the Fontaine lap, dead even at a 19.138 seconds. Fontaine and Keller, 0, 0, 0 to the 3rd decimal, exactly tied for our front row. How about that?
Well, it doesn't get any closer than that. It can't physically get any closer than that. Very unusual situation where they're both at the same exact time. The monitor is showing P2, but Christian's higher in the point standings, so we'll check with race control to see exactly how they determine who gets the pole. If it is indeed based off of point standings, Christian Keller is our current point standings leader. So Christian Keller, very quick, as is Thomas Fontaine, quite remarkable, turning right down to the 1/1000th of a second, the same exact time, 19.138 seconds. Car number 7's on the racetrack. That's Dwight Nichols. Lap 2 is quicker, 6th fastest overall. He clocks in at 19.797 seconds for car number 7. That's currently 10th in the championship standings with a season best of 5th earlier on. So that Hooters race car looks very similar to the late great Alan Kulwicki's paint scheme. We'll bring it down pit lane as he has wrapped up his qualification. They will get that car buttoned up and get ready to go racing coming up a little bit later on, as they'll have no more track time between now and race time. A couple of practice sessions earlier today in this heat, but by the time they hit the racetrack, the sun will begin to set, and they'll be going racing 7 events overall this evening. Car 3 is on the racetrack. This is Michael Walters. Michael Walters on the racetrack, working himself through turns 3 and 4 to see the checkered flag. Lap 1, 8th quick. Lap 2, he'll stay there even though he goes faster on lap 2 in 19.844 seconds. That'll put him outside of row 4 at the moment. Coming down to the wire, it's going to be Mikey Chen on the racetrack in car number 3. He has got multiple podium finishes, 3 to be exact, with a season best of 2nd back on April the 20th. He just needs 1 position higher if he wants to get down to Dale Lemon's victory lane when that checkered flag comes out. What will he do here in qualification? Mikey Chen, 4th fastest. That'll knock Crystal West back to 5th, 19.225 seconds for car number 3, Mikey Chen, as he takes it back to turns 3 and 4 from Suffolk. He's a 2-time winner in the Enduros and a Sportsman of the Year 3 times overall. Mikey Chen will go faster on lap 2. He'll move now to inside of row 2 with a 19.174 second lap. And Adam, I don't know exactly who's going to be on the pole, but we got 2 drivers exactly the same time.
Well, I think it's whoever laid the first lap down. I'm not sure, but they have the 64 listed first, and that's Thomas Fontaine. Thomas, your first pole of the season, buddy. How do you feel?
Feels fantastic. We've been fighting this car off and on all year, and to be able to have a piece to hopefully challenge for a win tonight feels great.
All right, buddy. Best of luck to you. Congratulations. Thomas Fontaine, your provisional pole sitter. Either way, Brian, going to start on the front row with driver 6, Christian Keller.
A very good lap for both Thomas Fontaine and Christian Keller as they will lead the field to the green flag. Row 2 will be Mikey Chen and Nicholas Deans. Crystal West will start 5th. Brent Burgess rolls off P6. Dwight Nichols 7th. Kyle Davis 8th. 9th to Michael Walters. And 10th is Jeremy Jones. Brandon Burrell posted the 11th fastest lap. And Lacey Hogg P12 for this Farley Financial U-Cars when they drop the green flag a little bit later on this evening.
If you ask us, dinner should be warm, golden, and scratch-made with plenty to go around. Like a big bow box full of chicken supremes. Feed a family of 4 with 12 supremes, biscuits, fixins, and tea. It's bow time.
Cycle City Corp, your #1 dealer in motorcycles, ATVs, and personal watercraft. They carry all the major brands: Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Can-Am. Cycle City Corp is located 1 mile off the interstate, exit 258A. Stop by for unbeatable deals. Cycle City also has a huge parts and accessories department. Come by and check out the latest styles in Oakley sunglasses, HJC helmets, and Joe Rocket jackets, just to mention a few. Cycle City has a #1 service department with factory-trained mechanics, so stop on by. Cycle City Corp, 634 J. Clyde Morris Boulevard in Newport News. Or call 595-9721. 595-9721 for super great savings. Cycle City Corp, sponsor of the Legends and Bandos.
For Evergreen Lawn Care, a locally owned Hampton Roads lawn care company in business since 1992. Their mission is to provide the highest quality lawn care service to enhance the beauty of their customers' lawns through hard work, professionalism, and most of all, customer care. They offer the following services and more: mowing, string trimming, mulching, edging of landscaped beds, also pruning, aeration, seeding, fertilization, soil analysis, herbicide applications, and landscaping. For Evergreen Lawn Care Incorporated, call 227-TURF. That's 227-8873. Or check their website for evergreenlawncare.com.
It's Car Masters Automotive with the Napa Gold 36-month, 36,000-mile peace of mind warranty. Go to RepairPal.com for a fair price guarantee. Customer rental and loaner cars too. Car Masters is hiring technicians up to $55 an hour with 100% health and more benefits. 757-456-0722. Car Masters Automotive. Go to CarMastersAuto.com at 931 East Little Creek Road in Norfolk.
Larry King Law's Langley Speedway on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in late June. We are ready to go racing, but before we can do that, we have to set the starting lineup for our feature events presented by Taylor Waste Services. This will be race number 10 of the 2024 season. Thanks to all these great fans that are here in the stands on a warm day, Adam, but we're going to have some fun here this afternoon.
That's right. It is warm down here, buddy, as we talked about earlier, and the weather is going to cool off very nicely tonight at race time. So race fans, be sure to grab your tickets and come on out and join us for an awesome Taylor Waste Services race night. Race 10 on the schedule but it's 7 race docket here this evening. Race number 6 out of 7 going to be the Harris Truck Shop Super Trucks, and they're going to take to the track that is very hot, very slick, and very warm here on this Saturday afternoon.
Just got clarification. Thomas Fontaine will indeed lead the field to the green flag. That's because, again, remember, he and Christian Keller turned the same exact fast lap time. Exactly right down to the 1/1000th of a second. So how do you break the tie? Well, NASCAR race officials here in the tower said they break the tie because the other lap that the driver we're talking about, Thomas Fontaine, was faster. His second lap was faster than Christian Keller. So it came down to lap 1's exactly the same. So how did the two stack up on their slower lap? And because Thomas Fontaine's slower lap was faster than the Christian Keller slower lap, he will take the pole position. Very interesting. It's because we don't have to do that very often. I mean, Adam, that's like playing the lottery and hitting it big.
Yeah, I think Fontaine should definitely buy a lottery ticket tonight. That's a great stat. But they did have the 64 Fontaine listed as P1, so he'll lead the field to green tonight, and going to be exciting to watch him try to fend off Christian Keller. What a story that would be if Fontaine can get to victory lane for his first win of his rookie season.
Of course, want to send best wishes. Our thoughts and prayers are with our former champ of this division. He's got a couple of championships. We're talking about Hunter Waltrip. Want to keep he and his family in our thoughts and prayers as his mom is battling cancer. So certainly thinking about them here this afternoon. We're watching qualifying rolling on. This is the Harris Truck Shop Super Trucks. Chase McAdams, the current point standings leader by just 2 points. That's right, 2 points with 1 victory. Has posted the fastest lap, 19.217 seconds. Watching Chris Bechtel take the checkered flag and pick up 57 from Hampton. Bechtel will stay P2 as he does go faster on the second circuit, 19.629 seconds. All right, the winner from a couple of weeks back, this is pickup truck number 3. Adam, you remember that very special first win for Chris McAvoy.
That's right, and what a race it was. Came down to the last lap, a quick dash to the finish, a restart that decided it, and McAvoy came out on top, and what a great relief it was in victory lane. He's had his hands full with mechanical issues all season long, and finally was able to put it together and have everything go his way. So we'll see how Chris can carry that momentum into tonight. Right now, lap 1, P2 out of 3. 19.570 seconds. Got about 0.3 of a second to catch Chase McAdams. We'll see if he can do it here across the stripe. What does he do? Just about a 10th quicker. 19.469 seconds, stays P2.
Chris McAvoy, very interesting stat. Prior to the win a couple of Saturday nights ago, his best finish of the year was 9th. He hasn't even had the top 5 prior to the last race. And then he comes out of the box and picks up the victory. So Chris McAvoy, keep your eyes on that driver. Pickup truck 3. Chris McAvoy, as you just heard, currently P2. As we are getting ready to watch this one, pickup truck number 38, currently second of the championship chase. She's got 4, or make that 3 top 4 finishes with the best of 3rd back in early May. This is Paige Kane. Paige Kane currently second in the championship standings, just 2 points behind Chase McAdams for that championship lead. So she is gunning for a championship as she works through turns 3 and 4. Lap 1 is currently 4th fastest for the Norfolk, Virginia driver, sponsored by Carolina Custom Carriers. And let's see what lap 2. It's quicker, so she'll go to 3rd spot. That'll drop kick Chris Bechtel back to 4th, 19.586 seconds for truck number 38. So Paige Kane, gunning for a championship, right now is provisionally inside of row number 2. So let's see if she can get a best finish of the season here tonight. Again, hello to everybody on Facebook Live. Bob Babb says, let her eat buckwheat. We'll find out. I'm not sure exactly what that transpires and means. Looks like Linda Rogers says, stay cool and safe to the drivers, crews, fans, and family. Ron Strickland says, go ahead 64, talking about the U-Cars driver. So interact with us. Let us know where you're watching from. Maybe you're here at the racetrack, or maybe you're afar. We thank you for tuning in to Facebook Live. Adam, it's good to see this driver back, and he's fast. We're talking about Hampton's Donald Brown.
Yeah, been a few weeks since Donald's been back here at the racetrack. Had to get that truck fixed, and they're fast as they were right before that happened. P3 right now on lap 2. That's where he sits provisionally at an 18.559 seconds. So good lap for Donald Brown. Now he's got some points up after some time off, and we know that truck is capable and going to be in the mix tonight. How about Gary Osborne on the racetrack? You talked about Hunter Waltrip and him being a former champion. Well, that's the truck that Hunter drove. So we know the truck is capable. Just see if Gary can put it together. The rookie competitor trying to get it done here tonight in just his 5th start.
Gary Osborne on the racetrack, working through now turns 1 and 2. Lap 1, sixth fastest, 20.159 seconds for Osborne as he takes it down the backstretch over into turns 3 and 4. His second flyer lap, trying to post a good one. Here he comes out of turns 3 and 4 to take the checkered flag. And Gary Osborne will slow down on lap number 2. The 62-year-old rookie cutting his teeth in the pickup trucks. And we'll see what Gary Osborne has in store. Right now, the top rookie for the Harris Truck Shop Super Trucks is Jesse Call. Jesse Call with a season best finish of 6th, and we'll hopefully be talking about him here in a little bit. Next up on the racetrack, it'll be this one, the red and white, number 01. That is Hayes, Virginia's Tim Carter in the Pruitt Automotive Tidewater Collision Center truck. And let's see what Tim Carter has in store. 6th quick right now, 19.661 seconds for Tim Carter, who is up 1 spot in the season-long points war, P3. Just 4 markers outside the lead, just 2 markers or 2 slim points behind Paige Kane, who is second in the championship chase. But more importantly, Adam, as Tim Carter did slow down on lap number 2, so he'll stay slotted in the 6th spot. He had a best finish of 2nd, runner-up, just 1 spot outside of winning 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and just before that, he was in position to win until he got involved in an incident on a late race restart. The 01 ended in the wall outside of turn 1, so Tim has shown the speed to be up front when it counts. Just a matter of putting it all together. We'll see if tonight can be the night, but should be fun to watch. These trucks always put on a show, and you're not going to want to miss it. Race number 6 on the docket once again, and I believe this is Jesse Call wrapping things up.
Indeed, this is Jesse Call that we were just talking about, the top rookie for 2024, tied with Chris McAvoy for 5th in the championship standings. He takes his pickup truck through turns 3 and 4. Jesse Call across the stripe, and he'll go a little bit quicker on lap 2, but he'll stay 8th fastest, 20.735 seconds for the Newport News driver, sponsored by Geico and Greg Colston out of the Hampton office. All right, so pickup truck 02 has finished his 2 laps, as has everybody, minus Kevin Rickman, who did not post a lap. So Chase McAdams, the point standings leader, who is seeking redemption after his worst finish of the year last race. He finished 10th. Prior to that, he had finishes of 1st, 2nd, and 2nd. So Chase McAdams wants to go back to Dale Emmons victory lane or get a strong finish to pad that points lead, because it has gotten very, very slim. So Chase McAdams will lead the field to the green flag for the 6th of 7 races here tonight for the Harris Truck Shop Super Trucks 25-lap contest. So it'll be Chase McAdams and Chris McAvoy, the defending winner on row 1. Donald Brown, who makes his return after a crash a few weeks ago. He'll start inside the 2nd row with Paige Kane firing off 4th, and Chris Bechtel rounds out the top 5. Tim Carter posted the 6th fastest lap. Gary Osborne of the 00 was 7th, followed by Jesse Call, and Kevin Rickman will start 9th. Coming up next, we have the old school video game Super Streets, followed by the Pepsi Grand Stocks, and then we'll have the Premier Series, the Taylor Waste Services late models. All of that coming up this afternoon as we set the stage for our starting lineup for all of our races for this, the 10th event of the 2024 season at Hampton, Virginia's Larry King Law's Langley Speedway, on a great afternoon, a great evening later on, for Taylor Waste Services will sponsor this evening's events.
Larry King Law's Langley Speedway in Hampton presents Wacky Wednesday. Every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Time trials, burnouts, and side-by-side oval drag racing. Bring your car and helmet. Find out who's the best. Pit fees only $15. General admission only $7. Wacky Wednesday back in your face every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Wacky Wednesdays, the premier midweek street car racing event. Any street legal car with current inspection tags are eligible to compete. Registration at spectator gates open at 6 p.m. Cash prizes and a whole lot of fun. Get all the rules, regulations, and more information at langley-speedway.com. Join the Wacky Wednesday Facebook page or call 865-RACE.
Put on your smiley smile. Your smiley's heating and cooling today. Put on your smiley smile. Your comfort's just a smile away. We'll warm you up when it's cold, cool you down when it's hot. And when you're comfortable, you tend to smile a lot. With Smiley's heating and cooling, your comfort is just a smile away. Taking it back to the old school.
It's time to go old school with old school video games and more.
Old school.
The absolute best place for all your video game needs. Old School offers everything from today to back in the day.
Back in the day.
Old School video games.
Old school.
3 locations in Hampton, Suffolk, and Portsmouth. They guarantee the best trade value and the lowest prices than any other game store.
Bring it back. Bring that back.
Old School Video Games also offers EMS, fire, police, and military discounts. For more info, go to oldschoolva.com.
Old school. Old school.
I'm old school.
OLDSKOOLVA.com. Old School Video Games, proud sponsor of the Super Streets here at Langley Speedway.
Larry King is committed to helping those whose health, safety, liberty, or well-being have been wrongly victimized. You can have confidence in knowing you have a strong, skillful, and dedicated legal team.
Larry King knows accidents and injuries. He knows the law, and he can help. Dial 757-INJURED for Larry King.
We have nearly 40 years of trial experience and have helped tens of thousands of people for all types of serious personal injuries, criminal offenses, and other serious legal matters. Larry King Law has the knowledge, experience, commitment, and resources to be your powerful advocate.
Langley Speedway. It's time to go qualifying with the Old School video game Super Streets as our first drivers on the racetrack. And Adam, well, this is the driver you need to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, it's Dale Nichols. He did the same thing last week, was first in line for qualifying, and I tell you, when you have 4 wins on the season, I don't blame you. Momentum is on his side, and we're looking to watch a great race with the Grand Stocks, as they always do. Excuse me, the Super Streets. Grand Stocks are going to be a little bit later on, but right now it's all Dale Nichols. He's the only full-time winner to get to victory lane this season. Landon Abbott is the only other race winner this season, but he's not running full-time. He's here tonight, though, so it should be a good battle between the 70 machine and the number 8. Right now, Nichols laying down the lap. Everybody's going to shoot for her.
Dale Nichols, 4 victories in 6 starts. Quite impressive. The 2 races that he did not win, well, he finished second. So Dale Nichols leads the championship standings, coming into this race by 10 points. And remember, Dale Nichols is already a 2-time champion after winning the 2018 and most recently the 2021 titles. Up next, we've got car number 71. This is Tommy Sweeney. Tommy Sweeney making his first start since the season opener on April 6th when he logged a 5th place finish. And Tommy Sweeney, and I'll actually correct myself on this one, this may be Tommy's first start of the 2024 season. Tommy Sweeney on the track right now, and lap 1 is 19 triple ones, 19-1-1-1 for Tommy Sweeney, making start number 1 of the season. And he'll take the checkered flag and wrap up his laps. His second lap was just a little bit slower for car number 71. So Tommy Sweeney, and the reason we were saying that is because the 71 car that he's piloting, Paul Lubno, drove this car at the season opening event and finished 5th. But this time, this car will make its second start of the year, and Tommy Sweeney is behind the wheel. Let's move now to the Cal's Pizza car. That's because it's got the Cal's Pizza logo and all of the little pizza pepperonis on the back of it. This is Sean Calloway in car number 12. He is currently 3rd out of the 3 cars, 19.221 seconds for car number 12. Again, we're talking about none other than Sean Calloway. Sean Calloway 6th in the championship chase, coming off a top 5 finish last Saturday night. His best finish of the year was a 4th back on April the 20th, and lap 2 is not better than lap 1, so he'll stay in position number 3 thus far, again, for car number 12 from Virginia Beach. So Tommy Sweeney will bring that car into the pits, and again, the next time you'll see these cars on the track, it'll be for the feature event, and the Old School Video Game Super Streets contest will be 40 trips around this 410 Mile Oval. It'll be race number 5, and by the time we get to their race, these Musco lights will be on, and the track temperature will be much cooler than the current 140-degree track temperature that they're facing right now. So a difference in how these cars will handle. Joe Stock, car number 16, is next on the racetrack. He just knocked Sean Calloway back to 4th because he took the 3rd spot. And Joe Stock will now knock Tommy Sweeney back to P3 because he'll go provisionally 2nd quick. 18.853 seconds for Joe Stock, who is currently 7th in the season-long points war. 1 top 5 finish. He got a 4th back earlier this month. So car number 16, Joe Stuck from Hampton, your 2023 Rookie of the Year in this division, sponsored by Hardwood Specialties. Next up, we've got Gordon Weeks on the racetrack in car number 20. Now Gordon, he is no stranger to Dale Lemon's victory lane. As a matter of fact, he's got multiple wins, but not this year. He's not the Dale Nichols, who's got, of course, 4 victories. The other winner this year was Landon Abbott, who has 2. But Gordon Weeks does have a runner-up finish, which is his best of the year. He got that last weekend. But outside of that, he does have 3 podium efforts. What does Gordon Weeks do here in qualifying? 2 laps? Well, they're done. He'll be third fastest, 19.011 seconds. Everybody's chasing Dale Nichols, who logged a time of 18.675 seconds. So lights out fast for Dale Nichols. And right now, Joe Stuck currently sets P2. Chris Spangler is on the racetrack. This is going to be car number 33. He's just outside the top 10. Actually missed the last race as far as the championship standing points are concerned. He's 11th. Does have a best finish this year of 7th earlier this month. Chris Spangler currently 5th fastest in car number 33. 19.193 seconds for the 33 entry. As he comes out of corner number 4, the back end of the car wants to kick out for the Hampton driver, sponsored by Sinful Treats and Marty Strickland Race Engines. Chris Spangler slows down a tick, 19.193 on lap 1. Good enough for 5th fastest. All right, Adam, another driver to keep your eyes on. The only other winner this year besides Dale Nichols, it's Landon Abbott.
That's right, and I mentioned he's part-time. He's won every race he started this season, that of course only being 2, but he's 2 for 2 on the season. So no pressure, Landon. We'll see what lap 1 has, and he goes right to P3, 18.879 seconds. He needs a couple tenths to catch the Dale Nichols lap, and we'll see if he can do it. I expect these 2 to put on a battle tonight. Brian, you mentioned the only 2 winners this season. Of course, everybody else is hoping to add their name to that list, but man, Landon so strong every time he comes out. Of course, the former champion here in the Super Streets, and where does he go? P2, right behind Dale Nichols.
So the front row right now is the only 2 drivers that have visited Dale Lemon's victory lane. That's Dale Nichols and Landon Abbott. Landon from Sandston, Virginia, sponsored by Woods Body Shop and Woods Mobile Glass. Good to have Landon back for his 3rd start of the season. All right, next out of the racetrack, well, this driver has impressed many, many people, and we're talking about this driver, Jacob Wood, in car number 28 on the racetrack. He'll take the white flag. He's currently our top rookie, and the top rookie just drop kicks Landon Abbott back to 3rd because he'll take the front row 2nd spot provisionally. Can he get the pole? He only needs 5 1/1000ths of a second. Here comes the Kel Yarborough throwback paint scheme through turns 3 and 4, gunning for the pole position. Jacob Wood across the line. No, he'll slow down just a tick and will not get the pole. He slowed down by about 3 1/1000ths of a second when all he needed was 5 1/1000ths to get the pole. But Jacob Wood will go P2 beside Dale Nichols at the moment. He's from Providence Forge, Virginia, sponsored by Capital Landing Mulch. Actually, Adam Koolstad went down to Dixieland Speedway in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, competed in the Virginia Sprint Series. It was his first time in a sprint car and first time on dirt.
How about that? Jacob Wood, little versatility in driver 28. Good lap for him, and really cool to see him on dirt, Brian, as you mentioned. Hopefully he races here next weekend because the Virginia Sprint Series is going to be here next Saturday, so it'll be fun to watch Jacob get after it in the sprint car around here. But of course, it's always fun to watch him get around here in a super street, and that's a great lap from the rookie, separating 2 champions in the top 3 right now. Dale Nichols, Landon Abbott, right in the middle is Jacob Wood.
Watching right now the 14 car, that's Ryan Hutchins, another rookie competitor, currently 8th in the championship standings. Ryan Hutchins coming off a 10th place finish last weekend. His best finish is an 8th on 3 occasions this year. So he's been inside the top 10 multiple times, 5 to be exact. All right, this is normally Wesley Newell behind the wheel of this car, but Adam, I believe we're going to have a different driver behind the wheel, and we'll get the name for you here momentarily. Wesley Newell was involved in an accident here on the track last weekend, and they have turned over the driving responsibilities this weekend while he's on recovery mode to another driver. And again, give me a moment, we'll get the name. I believe this will be Satterley behind the wheel. And checkered flag is in the air for Satterley, 20.827 seconds for car number 11, normally piloted by Wesley Newell, sponsored by Acropolis Construction. but tonight it's going to have Amanda Satterley's dad behind the wheel. And that's Jared Satterley behind the wheel of car number 11. All right, we went from Jacob Wood in car number 28 to now we're going to go to Blake Wood in car 27. And Adam, that's another throwback paint scheme.
That's right. That's the Tim Richmond throwback, the number 27 Monte Carlo. And Blake, unfortunately, hasn't had as much success as Jacob this year. He's still learning things. Of course, both drivers are rookies. And right now, Blake is P10 out of 11. So we'll see what lap number 2 has in store. The Tim Richmond throwback works his way off turn number 4. And across the stripe, he goes up to P9. So good pickup for car 27. Blake Wood, 9th out of 11.
He's from Quentin, Virginia. That car, number 27, talking about Blake Wood, he and the 11 got together of Wesley Newell in turns 3 and 4 last Saturday night was what caused the accident. Wesley Newell is out for the moment. Hopefully we'll have Wesley back at the track here pretty soon. But again, it's Jared Satterley. Big wiggle there from car number 45. That's Matt Kaminskis. I was talking with him earlier in the driver's meeting, and he said this track is slippery. And Adam, right then, we can tell just how slippery this track is. The back end just completely kicked out on Matt Kaminskis.
And these 95-degree temperatures out here are not going to help that at all. The bright sunshine beating down on this racetrack, making it that much slicker and warmer. You talked about the 140-degree plus track temperature. It's a heck of a lot warmer when you're in these race cars and running around on the blacktop compared to just being here in person. It's incredible how much more heat is gained with being on track, and of course all the safety gear the drivers are wearing, so they've got a lot to be worried about. And of course, working their way around the racetrack, these tires, the Hoosier tires, are not going to grip very well with how much sun this track is getting, and we're seeing that as an example here. Here comes the Angelo Stellan machine, the car 72, now on the racetrack.
Angelo Stellan taken to the speedway from Pocosin. But speaking of Matt Kaminskis, he had his best finish of the year of 8th last weekend, so he's hoping to build on that and continue to find speed in car number 45. Watching the white 72 car work through turns 3 and 4, this again is Angelo Stellan, the Turnkey Technical Solutions Maritime Mayhem, Big E Deisman Music sponsored car for Angelo Stellan, who has wrapped up his lap at car number 72, 10th quick of the 13 cars. He posted a time of 19.267 seconds. That was on lap number 1. All right, this driver needs to find Dale Lemon's victory lane. Why do we say that? Well, this is your defending champion in car number 21, Sammy Gata. He visited the checkerboard area 7 times last year to get a championship, yet to do it in 2024, but he is ready to get back. He is currently 2nd in the points chase. He has 2 runner-up finishes this year, altogether 4 top 3 finishes. So let's see what he has in store. Lap 1, 5th quick. Let's see what lap 2 is for the defending champ, Sammy Gata. And he'll pick it up to 4th spot, 18.850 seconds, as lap 2 was the fastest. So Sammy Gata from Pocosin with multiple wins, and of course the championship sponsored by Guardian Automotive and Repair, as they'll bring that car to the pits. And again, we'll start outside the 2nd row. Qualifying, getting ready to wrap up for this old school video game Super Streets as we're watching the Car Masters number 95 from Norfolk. This, my friends, is who the driver is. That's Danny Harrell at car number 95. And lap 1 will be provisionally outside of row 5, 19.231 seconds. He takes the car, tries to keep it at the bottom of the racetrack. This is a 4/10 mile oval, banking 6 degrees in the turns, 2 degrees on the straightaway. So relatively flat, but the fast way around Adam, that's all the way at the bottom.
Right at the bottom of the racetrack. Sometimes even below the bottom, we'll see some drivers use the apron of the racetrack, the flat part, to get these vehicles to turn through the corner. Of course, it can be a little slick down there as well, but that's going to wrap up qualifying here. Looks like the Super Streets lineup is set. And it looks like we have our lineup for race 5 tonight on Taylor Waste Services race night.
All right, so Dale Nichols gets it done once more. The current point standings leader, 2-time champion, posted a time of 18.675 seconds. Good enough to get the Bojangles Bow Time Pole Award. Jacob Wood will line up outside of row number 1 in car number 28. Landon Abbott, Sammy Gata make up row 2, while row 3 will be Joe Stuck and Gordon Weeks. Starting 7th tonight will be Tommy Sweeney. 8th is Chris Spangler. 9th is Sean Coway. And Danny Harrell rounds out the top 10. 11th is Matt Kaminskis, followed by Angelo Stellan, Blake Wood, Ryan Hutchins, and Jared Satterley is driving for Wesley Newell. Bojangles Bow Time qualifying will be rolling on Coming up next, we're going to have the Pepsi Grand Stocks, followed by the Who's Your Driver late models. All of that coming up here this afternoon. Again, I want to thank our friends at Bojangles. Remember, those of you watching at home, on your way to the track, stop by Bojangles for some famous chicken biscuits and tea. We've got a Speedway special 8-piece tailgate that feeds 4 for $21.99, and that comes with 8 pieces of chicken, 4 biscuits, 2 picnic fixins, and a half-gallon of iced tea. We're 1 mile from the track at 3351 Commander Shepherd Boulevard. Big thanks to Mike Vines and the entire crew at Bojangles. Pepsi Grand Stocks are coming up next here this afternoon.
In the 60 seconds it will take you to listen to this radio ad, you could crack open a delicious Pepsi and start learning to play the electric guitar. Or the didgeridoo. You could take some photos worth untagging, wake up with face paint on.
Aw, you guys.
Or invent a new language you speak only with your 2 new best friends. Together you could adopt an exotic pet and name it Pepsi.
Oh, Pepsi. Oh, Pepsi.
In 60 seconds you could call up your crush and profess your love.
I'm in love with you.
But misdial and call your mom.
Honey?
Uh-oh. BTW could LOL at your BFF ROFL because your BFF 4L TMI'd.
Dude.
You can run a 100-meter dash slowly. Woo! In 60 seconds, you could double Dutch jump rope on a trampoline faster than anyone's ever double Dutch jump roped on a trampoline before. Then upload the video, get 1 billion views, and achieve international fame in a tiny province of China you can't even pronounce. In this 60 seconds, you didn't do any of that, but you can now. So what are you waiting for? Grab a Pepsi and get out there, because now has never happened before, and it only lasts for now. Pepsi, live for now.
This moment I just feel so alive.
It's bow time at Bojangles. How do we know our chicken is seasoned to perfection? Because you keep coming back for more. Head to Bojangles for fresh, never frozen chicken that's been seasoned to perfection, marinated for 12 hours, and hand-breaded not once, but twice. And when you buy an 8-piece box of chicken, you'll always get 4 biscuits absolutely free. So head back to Bojangles and pick up the chicken we're famous for, and the biscuits we're famous for, and our legendary tea. We're also famous for our tea. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Taylor Waste Services, locally owned and operated, still providing old-fashioned customer service. 11, 20, 30, 40 cubic yard roll-off containers for construction debris, industrial waste, yard debris, and most types of non-hazardous waste. Trash compactors are available, and flexible hours with Saturday pickup available when needed. Located in Hampton and serving the entire Tidewater area. Competitive rates, they take Visa and MasterCard. Call now, 723-1131. Taylor Waste Services.
It's Taylor Waste Services night at the racetrack. That'll be coming up later because it is certainly a beautiful Saturday afternoon as we are qualifying to set the starting lineup for our feature events, which will begin around 7 o'clock this evening here at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. 2 more divisions to go. Our Pepsi Grand Stocks getting in position here on the front stretch, and then we'll have those late models presented by Who's Your Driver. I want to say hello to Bill Wallace, who said, nice run, Chase, talking about Chase McAdams getting the pole for the Harris Truck Shop Super Trucks. Ron Strickland, we talked about him earlier. Lori Ann is watching, as is Nicole Nichols with Nichols Racing. Eric Bucklew, he's here at the track. Hey, Eric, he's watching from Skybox 4. Cassie is watching, as is Amanda Williams, says, go Danny Harrell and Casey Wyatt. So thank you to everybody watching. Jack Dotson, he's tuned in. He says, hello from Hot Suffolk. He's at the baseball tournament with his grandson. Always good to interact with Jack Dotson, who, of course, with the Jack Dotson's Racing Insider News with Scott Allen. And, hey, Vaughn Crittenden, our very own Vaughn Crittenden, he's on vacation. He's in Greece right now watching. I bet that's at least, Justin, 6-7 hours ahead of us. So I guess it's still a reasonable time, but it's starting to get late for you, Vaughn. But thank you so much for tuning in. Vaughn Crittenden here with the racetrack. He is in Greece, and it's actually 12:24 at night, or 12:25 at night the next day, Sunday morning. So we're talking to Vaughn. Hey, we got Brian Phelps tuning in from Texas. Hey, Brian. And Josh Paris is watching from Norfolk. So thank you to everybody. Interact with us here on Facebook Live. And if you're like Vaughn, you can't physically get here by 7 o'clock Eastern time in the United States, but you can tune in to Flow Racing at 7 o'clock. And I hope Vaughn will record it or watch the recording later and get some sleep here tonight. But thank you so much. Always good to have Dermaine Bird up in the tower with us. Dermaine, it's a little steamy Saturday afternoon.
Oh, it's extremely hot out here at the tracks today. Like earlier you were mentioning at the drivers' meeting, you have a temperature of 144 on the track. That's going to play a big factor in the races today because you got to take into account the tires overheating. Then you got to take into account your competitors next to you because you don't want your end swinging out or anything. So I think it's going to be a competitive but really safe, hopefully safe day at the track tonight.
I agree with that, and I think you, Jermaine, you and I were talking earlier too. Hydration is the key for these drivers and fans that are here, crew members, race officials, anybody that's on the property. Hydration critical. Temperature here in Hampton right now is 95 degrees. Heat index is 97 degrees. The dew point is 64 degrees. But we do have a little bit of a breeze, a southwest breeze at 9 miles per hour. But you have to stay hydrated. And Jermaine, you and I were talking earlier, hydration for these drivers that are going to be in the fire suits and the helmets. They couldn't start that today. They had to start a few days ago to get ready for tonight.
Yeah, if they didn't start at the beginning of the week, at least by Tuesday or Wednesday, they should have been taking the daily amount and then extra. Because like you said, in these vehicles with those fire resistant suits, the bodies are going to be overheated.
Absolutely, and we are rolling on Pepsi Grand Stocks 2 laps per car. Again, we'll take the best of the 2 laps, and that will be the lap of record. First up on the speedway is going to be car number 51. This is Amanda Satterley, currently 8th in the championship standings. Her best finish is a 6th back in late April. Actually missed the last race, so good to have her back. Her dad filled in, Jared Satterley. As we mentioned, he's going to be filling in for Wesley Newell in the Super Streets, but he turned back over driver duties to his daughter, Amanda Satterley. Saw her in the drivers' meeting earlier today as we get set to go racing here tonight. She takes the car now through turns 3 and 4. The Maritime Mayhem, car number 51. Here she comes through corners 3 and 4 to take that checkered flag, and she'll post a time of 20.129 seconds for car number 51 on the racetrack. Rolling on now to the double 2. This is the 22 car. Mike Parker from Newport News, the C Senor sponsored car. AJ's Go Green Auto Care. Some of the sponsors on this car as he works it through turns 3 and 4. And look at that car, Jermaine, sideways, almost like he's dirt track racing out there.
And that's going to be the main thing they have to take into account when the racing starts, because you're going to have competitors on both sides of you, so you're in sliding out like that. You're going to have that in count every single turn, every single second you're going around this track here today, because it's just extremely hot down there on the tires.
Indeed, and you're right. He's got the whole racetrack to himself. When the race time comes, he's going to have cars to his inside, to his outside, and it looks like he's having a hard time turning that car out. I mean, maybe fighting a tight condition. He could not keep it pinned down to the bottom, but he's the quickest of the 2 cars.
They say loose is fast. Well, how about a little bit of a tight condition fast for that driver? Been fun to watch him turn some laps and put up a quick time, 19.506. That's the benchmark everybody's going to shoot for. Right now, Nate Lundeen is on the racetrack. I'm getting ready to check in with the Mad Dog team, the Bill Aker squad. They're down here. Bill was actually stalled at the entrance to the pit lane, and they had to have a push down the pit road. So we're going to go and check with that team and have an update for you. It looks like the car is running now, so a little bit of a hiccup for driver 29, but no hiccups for Nate Lundeen. He shoots to the top.
That's right, Nate Lundeen all the way to the top as he clocks in at 18.892 seconds, the only driver in the 18-second bracket. Nate Lundeen currently 3rd in the championship chase as he's got altogether 2 third-place finishes. Want to say hello to my buddy Gail Hovis. She's tuned in, as is Terry Walter Fuller, watching from Norfolk and rooting for car number 47, Nate Lundeen, who right now is atop the leaderboard. Looking at another driver coming out, this happens to be the defending champion and current point standings leader, Tim Wilson. And I say current point standings leader because this driver from Newport News, before the last race, which was on June 8th, was 2nd in the championship chase, and by virtue of his win, took over the top spot. That knocked Paul Lubno back to 2nd. So we're watching Tim Wilson, who's gunning for that 2nd, make that 3rd championship. It could come this year, but Adam, it's going to come down to the wire as he goes to the top here in Bojangles qualifying.
Yeah, 2-time winner already this season, now points leader for Tim Wilson. Took him a little while to get the win. It was Paul Lubno dominating at the start of the season, but now it is Wilson finding his stride, and there you go, top of the board for the 17 machine, 18.239 seconds. They raced 2 weeks ago back on June 8th, and you mentioned it, Tim Wilson went to victory lane, so he's got momentum on his side, and boy, that's ought to be scary for the competition. Right now, Tim pulls it into the pit lane, and we're watching, looks like Gary Kidder turn laps. This is the 5th car to take time.
Gary Kidder on the racetrack. He's second in the Rookie of the Year chase, just about 9 points behind Robert Pellick, who's currently P1 for Rookie of the Year honors. Gary Kidder 7th in the overall championship, working on his first top 5 finish, has 3 8th-place finishes. Gary Kidder, 5th of the 5 cars, 21.56 on lap number 1, and that was the quickest lap. So it's Tim Wilson on top here in Bojangles Bow Time qualifying. Also your point standings leader by 1 point or 1 position on the racetrack. And that 1 point that he's leading for the championship standings is over this driver that's going to be coming on your screen at any moment now. We're talking about car number 14. This is going to be Paul Lubno. Get this, Dermaine. Paul Lubno, 7 championships, 130 career wins. 2 of those 130 wins comes this year. He knows his way around the racetrack, I think.
To fully agree with you on that one. I mean, you can't have numbers like that and not be experienced and very familiar with this track here at Larry King Law's Speedway.
I agree. His worst finish, 3rd place the last race. 2 wins, a 2nd and a 3rd. So Paul Lubno, very, very fast. Faster on lap number 2, Adam, but it's not good enough for the pole.
Yeah, going to be just short for the 14, guys, as we watch the 29 of Mad Dog on the racetrack. It's an 18.239 that Bill is shooting for, and Bill was 2nd the most recent time out, so the 29 has plenty of speed, and right now we're going to try to split the 2 veterans. It's Wilson and Lubno at the top of the board, Lundeen, Parker, and Satterley the top 5. What does the 29 car have across the stripe? Goes to 2nd on lap 1, 18.338 seconds, less than a 10th.
Hey, I found another fan of this driver, Bill Aker. There's got a lot of fans here at the track and watching on Facebook Live, including Ron Strickland. He's in Chesapeake, where Bill Aker resides. Ron Strickland says pulling for both Mosquito Joe cars, which includes Bill Aker. He'll slow down on lap 2, but good enough to go to the front row provisionally. Lap 1, as you heard, 18.338 seconds. Also want to say hello to Haleyville, South Carolina, Sandra Crozier. She's cheering for Paul Lubno, who right now is P3. And as I say right now, that means qualifying is wrapped up, I should say, as the red light has come on. So Tim Wilson will get the Bojangles Bow Time Pole Award. He'll be on the front row with Bill Aker when we drop the green flag for the Pepsi Grand Stocks 40-lap race. It'll be the 4th of 7 events on this Taylor Waste Services evening at the track. So it's Tim Wilson, Bill Aker, row 1. Row 2 will be Paul Lubno in car number 14 and Nate Lundeen. Mike Parker will roll off 5th, followed by Amanda Satterley and Gary Kidder. And it's very, very close to remain. Just 1 point between Tim Wilson and Paul Lubno. So they're points racing, even though they'll probably tell you they're not. They're points racing every weekend.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can't be that close to each other, let alone one in that first place. And every weekend doesn't matter to you. You're out here every weekend to move up in the scales, and right there, they're too close. It's going to be a battle.
It is going to be a great battle, and we are looking forward to that, and we'll see that here this evening. Hey, want to let everybody know that's here on the property, if you're with us or if you're thinking about coming, Champs Corner has reopened here at the racetrack. Now, that's the building to the left of our refreshment stand. As you come onto the midway, it's on your left. It features all of your favorite Pepsi products. Pepsi's the official soft drink of Larry King Law's Langley Speedway, and Budweiser products. We also have Larry's Lemonade and Hoop Tea on tap. So, of course, check that out. Champs Corner has reopened. And, Jermaine, I wonder if we can carry the microphone down in Champs Corner. We might have a good time down there.
Hey, I'll be more than happy to go down there and speak with some of these fans down here. Because I know we speak about the drivers and the prepping for this weekend and the heat conditions. I'd like to give a special shout-out to the fans that are already here and going to be showing up later for a race night out here, because they're doing this heat for something they love to sit back and enjoy. So definitely a shout out to the fans and everything who are here and on the way. Thank you all for being out here at Larry King Law Speedway with us tonight. And we have a night filled with some interesting and competitive racing for y'all.
Indeed, we do, and some great fans that are here basking in sunshine, maybe getting a suntan as we speak. But, of course, keep hydration, keep that water flowing here this afternoon. All right, looking ahead to next weekend, we've got a big fireworks display coming your way at the racetrack, so make plans to be here at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway, race fans. If you're watching on Facebook Live or if you're already here, make sure you're with us in person or tuning in to Flow Racing. A nice fireworks display coming your way next weekend with the Virginia Sprint Series. They're going to be here. They were at nearby Dixieland Speedway last night racing on dirt. Next weekend, next Saturday night, they'll be here in Hampton for their first of a few appearances here in 2024. And Adam, you and I had the pleasure to go down and talk with Chief and the Mrs. and driver Aaron Leach, who races in the Virginia Sprint Series. And when I say Aaron Leach, we're also talking about a driver who has won multiple championships, 3 to be exact, in our Huns Recycle Factory HRKC Pro Wing Champ Karts. He won the 2020, the 2019, and 18 titles, Aaron Leach did. But now he races sprint cars, and he had a very nice car. And you and I got a chance to get in that race car.
That's right. We had a chance to sit in the sprint car on display. Race fans, if you're coming on the property, stop by the midway right before you get to the concession stands. Under the grandstands, you'll see the 81 parked down there. It is a sight to behold. That is quite a machine. And as Brian mentioned, the sprint cars are going to be here next Saturday, celebrating July 4th here with the fireworks. So going to be a lot of fun there. But I've never had the opportunity to be up close and personal with one of those cars, and I was shocked just at the speed that they carry around here. They look very, very small, but up close and personal, it is massive. The wheel comes up to about my waistline, and I'm pretty tall, so that's really telling you how much the race car is, how much there is to it. When you see it up close and personal, you can really look at all the details and everything. And you sit in one of those race cars, as you and I had the pleasure to, and it is snug in there. Aaron is tucked in that cockpit of the car, and he is turning laps here, 14 to 15 seconds, the fastest machines that we see here at Langley Race. You are going to want to be here next Saturday for that night, Virginia Sprint Night here at Langley.
That's right, and Chief and Aaron were giving us a PhD in sprint car racing, and the mechanics of the race cars just so fascinating. And you're right, Adam, those cars, they're the fastest that we put on the racetrack. It is just incredible to watch them just zip around this speedway. So next weekend, you will be in for a treat to watch the Virginia Sprints. Now, Darren Bollock from nearby Modoc, North Carolina, won the dirt track race last night in Elizabeth City, and they just put on an incredible show lap after lap. The cars were side by side for the lead. It was probably one of the best races I have seen in a long, long time. So that's the type of show the sprint cars put on, so you don't want to miss it. Next Saturday night, Virginia Sprints in action, and a big fireworks display as we celebrate Independence Day weekend. Darren, how do we get to Independence Day weekend already? Jermaine, how did we get there?
Like the saying goes, when you're having fun, time flies. And
gosh.
Yeah, I know just a few ago I was wondering when the hot weather was coming. Now the hot weather's here. Now I'm wondering how long is it going to be here. But I know as for every night out here, I must say the weather does not matter. Just what you feel in the atmosphere here, just with the fans and all the supporters, the drivers, the teams. It's a really great night for anyone that can make it out here. And like you were saying, if you can get on Facebook Live, just it's great to experience here in person or over the computer. It's really great out here.
It really is. As we're watching the Premier Series hit the racetrack, this is the Who's Your Driver late models. And Adam, I think we've got a new driver on the racetrack, Dylan Newsom in car 44.
That's right. I believe this is Dylan's first start of the season here at Langley. This 44 car laid down a pretty impressive lap, 16.131 seconds. And I got to imagine he might be displaced here off the top of the step of the podium, because here comes driver 77. He's turned a few laps around here in his day, especially over the last couple seasons, and parked it into victory lane a couple of times. Scuff lap already complete. That's the build the tire heat and temperature there through the first lap, building some grip into those Hoosier tires, and now he's going to take the green flag and head down into turn number 3. We're talking about Connor Hall, last year's national champion and Langley champion, trying to go back-to-back here in 24. And what does he do? Straight to the top, 15.927 seconds.
No surprise, Connor Hall, car number 77, so fast. 6 races this year, 6 wins. Now, he's not started the first 4 events, but he has raced in the last 6. And, of course, you heard Adam talking about the NASCAR National Division I title that he won last year. He's trying to go for that again this year. He became the first driver in Langley history to get the Division I NASCAR National title. So just impressive for the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series. And Connor Hall trying to do it again, and he's trying to get a Cars Tour championship. Just has run incredible, and he and both Brendan Butterbean Queen, stars and champs here at this racetrack, are really lighting up the national stage and doing incredible things in the ZMAX Cars Tour in 2024. All right, we've got some fun stuff to talk about. The Jack Dodson's Racing Insider News with Scott Allen. Of course, we talked about Jack is away at a baseball tournament with his grandson. Next week, next Tuesday, 7 o'clock on Facebook Live, he's going to have Miley Smith, Matt Waltz, Atlee Weiss, Bobby McCarty, and of course our very own Adam Welbrock. Next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, Facebook Live. You'll always learn something and get a few laughs out of that show. It is fantastic what Jack Dodson, Scott Allen, and now Atlee Weiss, and as well as Adam Welbrock will be on the show next Tuesday night. Jacob Derrick is on the racetrack right now, or was on the racetrack as he has wrapped up his 2 laps. The opening lap is a scuff lap for the tires to get some heat built in as if they need more heat. But they'll get a scuff lap. Then they'll take the green flag to start their first of 2 flyer laps. And we just watched Jacob Derrick in car number 88 take to the racetrack. Jacob Derrick posted a time of 16.287 seconds. And of course, he is running Adam full time in our limited late models. We call that the Yesco Virginia Racers.
That's right, and he's brought the late model out here to compete tonight. He's a 9-time winner over on that side of things and made a handful of starts last year, not for his team, but I believe for Chad Bryant Motorsports with Riley Music. But tonight, running his very own race car and just trying to build the notebook. Of course, Jacob hopes to be a late model driver full-time one day, maybe that early as next season. So we'll see how that happens. Right now, Jacob P3 out of 4. Chris Horton on the racetrack right now sits 4th out of 4 in car 42.
Chris Horton from South Mills, North Carolina, just across the state line in northeastern North Carolina. And as we watched Jacob Derrick on the racetrack, his mom, Brandy Marshall, says, "Go, Jacob." Good to have Brandy tuning in. Spencer's watching. Spencer Saunders, a multi-time champ here in our Legends division. Denise Hall says, "Go, Connor," in Team 77. That's Connor's mom. Thank you, Denise. Good to hear from you. Ron Strickland says he's never watched before on Facebook Live because normally Ron's here at the track. So thanks, Ron. We're so glad you're tuning in. John Parrish is also watching. Says one of the best tracks and great food and the redneck fries. You cannot beat the redneck French fries. Adam, that is like a must get when you're at the racetrack.
An absolute staple of Langley Speedway, the redneck fries. And race fans, if you haven't been with us here at all this season, we now have a redneck burger on sale to complement your redneck fries. So be sure to get one of each when you come to the racetrack. Just ask for the redneck burger. Give me a side of redneck fries, buddy. Are you going to make the run to the stand, Brian, or should I? I probably should.
Yeah, I might. Either Jermaine, one of us are going to get down there and get some redneck French fries. You've had the redneck French fries, right, Jermaine?
Yeah. I've actually had them one of my first times out here, and to be honest, I enjoyed them so much. I actually made some for lunch today at home before I came out here. I had some homemade barbecue, some waffle fries, and did my own little one at the house because, yeah, they are delicious. That is something I would recommend for anyone to try out here.
Gotta get it. Hey, Martinsville Speedway has the legendary Martinsville hot dogs. We've got the legendary redneck French fries on sale at our refreshment stands. And you just heard Adam talk about new this year, the redneck cheeseburger. It is so, so good. Hey, to Linda Rogers, Paula Green tuning in as well. Sam Mickey, my buddy down in North Carolina. Hey, Sam. Good to have you tuned in. Also, Ryan Richardson says, "Let's go, Edwards Motorsports." To some of the folks tuning in to Facebook Live here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. All right, next up, Craig Estep, car number 99. This is his last full-time season of competition, and he's carrying a throwback scheme on his car as he pays tribute to his great racing career from the 1970s forward. And Adam, we're going way back before you and I were even here on planet Earth. He's been racing and just a great guy to talk to. We've had so much fun talking with Craig, and I feel like you can learn so much from Craig Estep.
Yeah, Craig's one of those guys that always has a story. Every time you talk to him, you can bring up anything about Langley, and he's talking about all of his experience, as you mentioned. He's raced here, I believe he told us 2 or 3 different configurations, including the dirt surface that used to be here way back in the day. So Craig has a very, very vast knowledge and experience level here at Langley, and right now enjoying his swan song season in that FM 99 Toyota Camry. Goes across the stripe on lap number 1, and right now is 5th on the board, top 5 so far for the number 99 machine. But yes, you're going to see more throwbacks from him going forward, and what a great story that is.
That's right. Craig Estep, such a great guy. And again, last full-time season, but that doesn't mean he may not come back and run maybe a few handful of races from time to time. It's hard just to walk away from the sport of racing, especially when you've been as successful as Craig's been. He's raced on dirt, asphalt, multiple racetracks, but this is his home track, Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. Hey, Dean Shiplet is on the racetrack right now in car number 72. Dean works himself through turns 3 and 4 to take the white flag in the air for Dean Shiplet. And lap 1 is 16.320 seconds for Dean Shiplet. And that's good enough to put Dean currently 5th fastest thus far for Dean. Right now 18th in the championship standings, coming off his season best finish of 4th in the very last race. So a fantastic job for Dean Shiplet. And he goes even faster on lap 2, provisionally inside of row 2. 3rd spot, 16.252 seconds. Keep your eyes on that car. A very talented race car driver. Would not be surprised at all if Dean Shiplet's able to put it down in Dale Lemon's victory lane. And again, that's a driver that we are keeping a very, very close eye on with the best finish of the season. He drives a Chevrolet Camaro, and he's known as Mean Dean, and has been racing for more than 25 years. He was our 2005 and 2006 Grand Stocks champion, Dean Shiplet. All right, next up, this is going to be Cody Bryant in car number 08, 8th in the championship standings. Cody Bryant running full-time in the Hoosier Driver Late Models division from Chesapeake. And, of course, he was your 2023 Limited Late Model champion last year in the Bryant Motorsports car. So, Cody Bryant, a very talented young man. And, Adam, he is a fast driver as well.
Yeah, and they've had their hands full with this race car this season, but last time out, Cody and the guys seemed to have figured something out. They were fast in qualifying, and again tonight, looks like they're fast as well. P3 on the board. He's 6/1000ths of a second off of the Dylan Newsom time, who sits second in 16.137 seconds. That's about 2/10 off of the Connor Hall lap, so definitely in the ballpark for driver 08. And another driver looking to make something happen is Casey Wyatt on the racetrack in the number 29 Ford Mustang.
That's right, Casey Wyatt on the Speedway. The Wyatt family, synonymous with Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. They've been at it since the very beginning of this storied history of this racetrack. More than 7 decades of racing since 1950. I talked with Casey's dad for just a few moments, Wayne Wyatt, who was the promoter here for several years. And of course, Wayne supporting and helping his son's team. And Wayne and I talked a little bit about how the track's changed this year, particularly with the fall off of lap speed in the first 4 or 5 laps. They'll drop as much as 0.3 of a second after the first opening 4 or 5 laps. So something everybody's scratching their head at and trying to figure out. But Adam, I'd say Wayne and son Casey have figured out something, because that car is all the way to the front row provisionally.
Yeah, about 1/10 off of the Connor Hall lap. Great lap for Casey, 16.034 seconds. They'll be very pleased with that. We'll see what the 29 can do, maybe go up there and lead some laps. Speaking of go up there and lead some laps, that's exactly what Cole Bruce did on a late race restart a couple of weeks ago. Took the lead from Connor and unfortunately couldn't hold him off, but still put on a heck of a show. Had a runner-up finish, the best of his season so far, his first full-time season at Langley. His first lap's going on the board.
Cole Bruce on the racetrack right now. Nabbed his best career finish with the runner-up the last time out. He's 20 years of age from Fredericksburg. Of course, he won the 2018 Dominion Raceway Championship, and he's supported by Flashpoint Logistics. Can he get one spot better tonight and go to Dale Lemon's victory lane? We're going to find out, but Jermaine, he's quick. 3rd fastest for that red and white car, number 31, a 16.039. So extremely quick for Cole Bruce. He's a very young driver, and I'll tell you, it's amazing how young some of these drivers are and how talented they are.
Yes, I'm not even familiar with exactly starting ages. Being a child in the backyard in a go-kart, racing around the backyard and everything. But yeah, 20 years old, and you see already, as for today's race, he started in 3rd place.
Incredible.
He comes out here competitive and ready to race every weekend.
Follow Cole on the social media channels, Facebook, as well as X, formerly known as Twitter, or maybe it'll go back to Twitter. We'll find out. But right now, we're watching the throwback scheme. I love calling throwback schemes. This is the Wood Brothers. It's not the 21 car. Add 20 to the number. It's 41. We're talking about Woody Howard, very talented race car driver with Hampton Heat Victor. He is currently 4th on the racetrack, 16.090 seconds. The lap of record is set by Connor Hall here at the moment. Connor logged a lap of 15.927 seconds as the Chesapeake, Virginia driver Woody Howard is done provisionally outside of row number 2. We are qualifying for the Who's Your Driver Late Models division. That'll be coming up just after 7 o'clock. They have twin races here tonight. There'll be race number 2, 50 laps around the racetrack. We're qualifying for that race, the first event for the late models. Their last race, or second race, last race of the night, the number 7 event, they'll actually start based on how they finish in race number 1, although NASCAR rules will invert at a minimum the top 8 finishers, possibly up to 12 at NASCAR's discretion, meaning if you win race number 1, you could start as far back as 12th place. So Adam, it's very, very tricky when we talk about inversion time.
That's right, and of course drivers can no longer race for position, kind of predicting, oh, they're going to start restart the top 8 in that order, so we're just going to race for 8th spot. That's no longer the case, as you were mentioning, so kind of leaves drivers with a question mark. You could finish 8th, 9th, or 10th, and maybe you'll start 9th or 10th, or maybe you'll start on the front row. It's all up to discretion of the NASCAR officials, and that's something we'll certainly be keeping an eye on. Something else we're keeping an eye on, I tell you, has got to be driver 21 points leader Greg Edwards, 6-time champion, looking to get another win this season. Already has a couple, looking to add win number 3 on the season. It's been a while since Greg has been to victory lane. We'll see if he can do it tonight.
That's right. His last win this year, his second of 2, came on April the 20th. So it's been a little while back. And Greg Edwards will go to the front row on lap number 1. That'll knock Casey Wyatt back to third, 16.005 seconds. He needs a little more than 7/100ths of a second if he wants to get the pole position. Can he do it? Out of turn number 4, no. He'll go a little bit slower on lap number 2 by about 2/100ths of a second. So Greg Edwards provisionally second quick here at the moment. The 6-time champion and current point standings leader, as you just heard, by 9 points coming into tonight's events. Next up, it's his brother, another 6-time champion. This is car number 26, Danny Edwards, who comes into this race tied with Woody Howard for third in the championship chase. And Danny broke that long winless drought, went winless last year, but he did get a win earlier this year at the season opening race. It was the second feature that evening. Since then, he's had some good finishes, including a third in the very last race 2 Saturday nights ago. Danny Edwards inside the top 10, 6th position on lap number 1, 16.115 seconds for car number 26. He's digging for more now through turns 3 and 4 to take that checkered flag. Can he get a better starting spot? We're getting ready to find out. He will actually slow down just a bit. It's a smorgasbord, a little bit of a mixed bag as far as who gets the best lap. Is it lap 1 or lap 2? Most drivers inside the top 3, or all the top 3 drivers, their best lap was the first lap. For Cole Bruce, who qualified 4th at the moment, his best lap was the second one. So we'll see how it all pans out. It seems like everybody's firing off a little bit quicker today on lap number 1. Could have something to do with the heat. Watching next driver on the speedway, this is the double 5 race car from Chesapeake, a 5-time Langley Speedway champion. Mark Wirtz on the racetrack, 2-time NASCAR regional champion, sponsored by CorvetteParts.net, J&J Clearing and Demolition, as well as Bayport Credit Union. And Mark Wirtz on the speedway, lap 1, 6th fastest, knocking Danny Edwards back to 7th, 16.092 seconds for the driver. Adam, second in the points chase. So Mark Wirtz and Greg Edwards, it's like we're going, back in time for the championship.
Yeah, Mark's kind of been under the radar this year. I know that's crazy to say, but he's been fun to watch. Kind of in the top 5 each and every week. He's got great speed in that race car. He struggled a little bit with the race 2 inverts, maybe not quite gotten the finishes that car is capable of, but Mark right now is 3rd quickest, 2 1,000ths quicker than Casey Wyatt in 4th. So it's inside provisionally for driver 55, a new sponsor on board that team this weekend. And now it's Ryan Matthews on the racetrack. You talked about him having a good season, Brian, tied with Woody Howard for 4th in points. Ryan got his first career win earlier this season.
That's right. Ryan Matthews is only one of 4 drivers to visit Dale Lemon's victory lane. He won back on April the 20th. And Ryan Matthews on the racetrack will crack the top 5, 5th quick on lap number 1, 16.038 seconds. And he still has 1 more lap to go. He's on his 2nd flyer lap, working corners 3 and 4, checkers in the air for car 51. Ryan Matthews, will he go quicker? No. He'll be like most of the drivers inside the top 5, with the exception of Mark Wirtz, who went quicker on lap number 2. Mark Wirtz provisionally inside of row number 2 in the 3rd spot. But Ryan Matthews, 5th fastest in our final qualifier, is taking to the racetrack right now, as we do have other folks tuning in to Facebook Live, including our former official here, Will Rollins. Will, hello, buddy. Good to have you here on Facebook Live. Cameron Ruggles is a big Ryan Matthews fan. He just watched him turn a very, very good lap. All right, your final qualifier. It's the 47 race car out of Norfolk, Virginia. This is Riley Music on the racetrack right now. Riley Music running full-time this year in this division, also running our limited late models. Current point standings leader there, won the championship a couple of seasons ago in our limited late models, and his best finish here in this Premier Series was a 2nd place back on May 11th. So we're watching this driver, Riley Music, who's inside the top 10, 7th place, and that's where he'll finish it up at a 16.043 seconds on lap number 1. I believe that's going to do it for our Who's Your Driver late models qualification. And just like we've said all season long, no surprise who's on the top. Let's go trackside.
Yeah, it's Connor Hall, and he's going to do the interview himself. Go ahead, buddy. I'm running out of stuff to ask you, so you might as well take over. How was it?
Car's good. It's really hot. Kind of wish I was out in my boat right now. But we have a really good car tonight. I think we made it a little better for this heat. I think, a little too free last week, so we put some bite in it, and hopefully it's going to last for 100 laps tonight.
Does your car hate the heat? Do you like it cooler? Where do you stand on atmospheric temperature?
The driver hates the heat, but I think the car likes it. So if we can just find like a happy medium, that'd be pretty cool.
Hopefully we find the happy medium when it gets darker later.
Yeah, I think so. I'll definitely be sweating less.
Everybody, congratulations. Best of luck tonight. Connor Hall, your pole sitter tonight, Brian, for race number 2 of 7.
So that is going to do it for qualifying, presented by Bojangles. Hey, use your smartphone to order from Bojangles. You can schedule your pickup time so that your food will be as fast and fresh as possible. Make sure to select curbside pickup option when checking out. If you download the Grubhub app and search for Bojangles, all orders over $30 gets $5 off. If you spend $50 or more, you get $12 off. A big thanks to Mike Vines and the Bojangles team. Late model teams, we need your help removing the trailers from the infield area so we can get ready for tonight's feature. That's going to do it. Connor Hall gets it done. You just heard from him. He'll lead the field to the green flag for race number 1 as he guns for his 7th straight Who's Your Driver late model win this year. He'll be joined alongside Greg Edwards on row 1. Mark Wirtz will fire off in 3rd spot or inside of row number 2 with Casey Wyatt going 4th, and Ryan Matthews rounds out the top 5. Cole Bruce will start outside the 3rd row with Riley Music going 7th, 8th to Woody Howard, Danny Harrell, the 6-time champ, 9th, and Dylan Newsom making start number 1. He'll start outside of row number 5. Cody Bryant will start 6th. Starting 7th will be Dean Shiflett. I make that 12th, I should say. 13th to Jacob Derrick. 14th to Michael Rogers. Craig Eastep 15th. Trey Williams qualified 16th. And Chris Horton will start 17th in our first of 2 Who's Your Driver late model events. That is going to do it for Facebook Live here this afternoon. Please join us at the racetrack. In about an hour's time from now, we'll go racing here in Hampton, Virginia at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. All the details, including tickets, can be found online at langley-speedway.com. Tickets on sale there, or you can get them in person at our box office. If you can't physically get here, like Von Crittenden, who's over in Greece right now on holiday, you can tune in to Flow Racing beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. For Dermaine Bird, Adam Welbrock, I'm Brian White. We'll see you at the races this evening.